What's going on YouTube? My name's Grizzy and today we're going to be doing something a little different. So recently Respawn released permanent duos and I've been itching to do a video about it, but a tier list didn't exactly feel right just yet. Instead, we decided to go with something bit of a meme video for this one. Since all the world's in a pretty bad spot right now, I figured that if we can make a couple of you guys laugh, then that's worth more than all the toilet paper in the world. So, for this one, I dragged my editor into this. He's been helping out a lot with the content on the channel that you guys have been seeing lately. I really wanted him to be included into this video for a change. So without further ado, take it away, Average.
Assa dudes, my name is Ridiculously Average. I just downed a gallon of coffee and these are the dumbest duos you can find in Apex Legends. A combination of a Wraith main and a Pathfinder main coalescing into a disturbing bond of sweat and tryhardiness. These guys aren't here to have fun. They're here to win and make your life a living nightmare. With an incredible amount of utility and mobility, there's no point in running. You won't escape them. Well, unless you hit Alt F4, that is. Capnophobia is the scientific term for the fear of smoke, and if you see this duo lock eyes with you, you'd better start praying to the All-Father. Bloodhound and Bangalore go together like peanut butter and jelly, with kits that feel like they were made for each other, and the combo works so simply. Bangalore just needs to pop her smoke to stop you from seeing the double kill that Bloodhound is about to get. If you know these guys are coming, stay away from the fog. Play on even footing, and that will drastically improve your odds. Skynet has finally taken over the arena, and with the recent buffs to Revenant's kit, this is no longer a meme. This duo has a large chunk of the mobility of Warpath, but with an added sustain factor. You see, Pathfinder can zip his robo-murdery best buddy around, and in return, the Edgelord keeps everyone alive, and makes you an easier kill with the silence. My recommendation here is that you find the totem. A lot of Revenants aren't that great at hiding it just yet, and if you can, play indoors to stop Pathfinder from using his grapple effectively. The key here is to neutralize the aggression and force them to use their cooldowns defensively. Mad respect to the DOGG, but there's no reason to really play a Caustic with the Bangalore. The kits just don't mesh. They play in entirely different ways, but if you ever see them walk into a building, do not follow them. You'll leave either floating 10 feet off the ground or in a body bag. Now these guys aren't necessarily the same as Sweats. You see, where those lobotomites are focused on kills, sick montages, and making everyone's match a general misery, this combo really just wants to win. They recognize that life sustain and ability to res mid-fight with a shield is incredibly powerful in the duos mode, and Wraith adds some much needed mobility and plays the role of an entry fragger. So if you see this duo coming at you, pressure the lifeline. They both got hit with that hitbox nerf, but Wraith is going to have a much harder time saving a down lifeline than if the opposite were true. These guys are just the best of buds, and 100% memeing or just really ship Caustic X Gibby. In all seriousness though, whilst they aren't much of a threat on their own most of the time, fighting them can take a while. They both take a lot of damage to knock. This means that fighting them can leave you open to drawing the attention of third parties, and that can cause you a whole lot more pain. Oh, and if you ever see them healing up inside a Gibby Dome, do not push in. Caustic will have dropped a trap inside of it, and that's not a fight you want to take. These guys are on all the drugs. You can't run from them, so if they push you, you're gonna have to take the fight, which is actually kind of fine, because at the time of recording this, Octane's hitbox is still broken as fuck, and makes him a fairly easy target to hit. If you see these Adderall-addicted, bunny-hopping thrill seekers bum-rushing you, just take the high ground, force them to use their abilities to get to you, and save yours for when they do, leaving you with the advantage. At this point, anything with Mirage in it is a meme. But Bangalore's smoke does actually offer Mirage mains the ability to make their decoys actually believable. After all, you're just seeing one Mirage enter the smoke screen and one Mirage leave. Magic. Well, not really. Just throw a nade in there and watch the real Mirage haul ass. Ah yes. The classic meta strategy of don't come near my space, leave me alone, and don't touch my fucking crayons! It takes a unique kind of play to spend 15 minutes of their life doing nothing but sitting in a house, peeking windows and taking pot shots. However, it's probably a good idea to leave these special snowflakes alone and let the storm force them from their spot, because if you ever enter their bunker, you'll be the one needing therapy. Okay, yeah. So anything with Watson is pretty much guaranteed to be a bunk-style team composition. However, the cool dynamic here is that both of these legends have the abilities that allow them to restore either health or shield, allowing a little more risk to their playstyle, but this is still very much a late-game comp. It's a little easier to push their bunkers as opposed to the doctor's office, but I still wouldn't advise it. Wait them out, they'll have to move eventually. What is more terrifying than an aggressive Gibraltar up in your face with a shotgun and the will to use it? I'll tell you! An aggressive Gibby playing backline with a turbocharged Havoc while a Race gets up in your face with a shotgun! This is potentially a really interesting combo, and is very much based on utility, with Wraith handling rotations and Gibby handling the support role in a sense. A strong Wraith player will want to play aggressively and close the distance with her opponents. Not only does Gibby provide cover fire to allow her to do that, but also provides her a safe space to void walk back to, making him the biggest of daddies. This is a bad sequel. Straight up. It's a similar concept to Wraith Gibby, but why would you ever run Octane instead of Wraith, when his hitbox is almost actual size of Gibby? Octane provides little to no utility to the Gibraltar either, and his escape is much worse, making him the all-round worst pick. Now, on paper, this sounds like a good idea. Kind of a search and destroy vibe, and it would be if Pathfinder could see the targets that Bloodhound gets to see during their ulti. However, this is still a duo with an incredibly aggressive pushing potential, and if they're communicating with each other, it might actually be better than Warpath due to Bloodhound being able to call your position out. With that being said, remember the golden rule of dealing with the Pathfinder. Stay inside, stay alive. Bloodhound has a movement speed boost during their ulti, whilst Path doesn't have mobility outside of his grapple. So if you can force them to come to you, it's fairly likely that the Bloodhound will show up first, allowing you to have the 2v1 advantage for a potentially easy kill. Don't take this comp lightly. Even if Crypto isn't so great at pushing, his EMP and the information he can provide to his Pathfinder makes this duo scary. If you ever hear that drone, expect an EMP, and if it goes off, expect that Pathfinder to rush you. This is one time I would say be careful staying inside against the Path, because if that drone gets in, it doesn't matter if he can grapple or not, Pathfinder is still probably going to win that fight. Okay, now hear me out. This is a bit of a cheese strat, but consider the fact that Revenant has his totem, which basically gives you an extra life. You go rush someone, die, get sent back to the totem, where Lifeline is waiting with her drone. You then heal up to full, and repeat ad nauseum. Seriously though, if someone actually does try this, just push the totem. If a totem is being defended, it usually means it's in a corner, which makes it really easy to just chuck some nades in the general direction. And if you're lucky, you'll probably get a knock on the lifeline too.
You so fucking precious when you smile.
Okay. But seriously, is there any other reason people are gonna play this duo? Really? If you see this team, realize that they're the type that will play dating simulators over shooters any day, meaning that they probably suck at this video game, which means that you could probably get an easy double kill served up on a body pillow just for you. The classical duo of a tank and a support, and with both of these legends being as strong as they are, this is a pretty safe meta pick if you want to win, but don't necessarily want to frag out or camp. If you're going up against the Gibby Lifeline duo, push them aggressively, or they will end up coming back with more health than they started out with.
I will find you. And I will kill you.
Don't fuck with this duo, just don't. The area control that they can provide is terrifying. Think about it this way. If a Bangalore and a Gibraltar don't want you to go somewhere, you aren't going there. And I don't know about you, but personally, I like playing my battle royales with a lot more shooting and a lot less bombing raids. So if you get a chance to play long range and snipe these guys out, take it. Just remember that getting up close means that you have to deal with an arm shielding Gibby, playing mids that you'll be taking Jihad 101, and even playing long range lets Bangalore push you. Still, that's your safest bet here. Just remember that you're bringing an R99 to a nuclear war. So that was just 20 of the dumbest duos we could come up with on the spot. Now, we know there are more, so let Grizzy and I know down in the comments below what you think is the dumbest duo in all of Apex Legends and what you would call that. Now, this is my first video doing a voiceover for the channel, so if you guys did like that, please let me know by subbing to the channel and liking this, and just adding Grizzy over on Twitter. Let us know if you want to see more of these. Otherwise, we'll get back to regularly scheduled programming. I'm Riddick, and I'm out.